So some of my deciduous bonsai are looking pretty shaggy right now and could use a prune, but I'm not going to prune them. I've been planning on pruning them this summer, but I waited too long. And this rule of not pruning deciduous bonsai in late summer is something I learned about maybe a year or two or three ago even, but it didn't really click with me. I didn't internalize it. And I finally, I think this year, recently on YouTube, watched a video or two, and I think I get it now. So I wanted to make a video about it because this doesn't really appear in any beginner bonsai books. It's maybe just too specific. I'm sure it's in more advanced books, but I've just gleaned it online, so I thought I'd just put another video out there explaining it. So here's why I'm not going to prune my deciduous bonsai in late summer, and here's the general rule. So the rule is stop pruning your deciduous bonsai 8 weeks before your first fall frost date. So for me, and this varies by geography. So for me, I just found this information online with a quick search. There's about a 50% chance that my area will experience frost or freezing temperatures by September 20th. And then there's about an 80% chance that we will see freezing temperatures by September 30th. So basically for me, mid to late September, we're going to start seeing freezing temperatures at night. And so 8 weeks or 2 months previous to that is like late July. So basically the rule for me is I want to stop doing any major pruning of my deciduous bonsai by late July. And right now I'm in the first week of August, so I've passed that date. So I'm not going to do any pruning or major pruning on my deciduous bonsai. I think you'd probably be fine with some light pruning, but I just don't see the point of doing any pruning at this point. So let me explain the reason behind this, because that's a rule you can just follow, and that's fine, but sometimes it's helpful to know the reason for these rules. And this is the thing I think finally clicked for me, so I wanted to explain it. So when you prune a tree, especially if you prune a tree hard, you induce a response in that tree, in deciduous bonsai. And you induce the tree to start growing. And so you prune the tree, and for me, and most people, you don't see anything happen for a week or two, but the tree, the tree starts doing things, and it will start growing again. And it takes time for that growth to mature and be ready for those freezing temperatures. And you need about 8 weeks for that new growth to fully be hardy to cold temperatures. So say you break the rule, you prune, say for me in late August, I do a heavy hard prune. It takes a while for the tree to start growing, and so then maybe first week of September it'll start putting out new growth. And that new growth, the leaves, like in spring, they're tender, they're not lignified. Then just a week or two after that, you get freezing temperatures, and that growth will just, it'll die or be damaged and probably won't survive the winter. And so basically by pruning in late summer, you probably, unless you do a major prune, you probably won't kill your tree necessarily, but it's kind of just lost energy. So there's no point in pruning late summer. If you induce that growth and it grows and it just dies over winter, you basically just cause the tree to lose energy. So yeah, I'm not gonna prune my deciduous trees. The only thing I'm losing by not pruning is basically my trees are gonna look shaggy for a couple months. And so when can you start pruning again? Because I actually like to do a lot of pruning in the fall. I just like to prune in the fall, so I'm not pruning off in spring all these like brand new buds that are swelling or getting ready to swell. I just hate pruning off buds. So when is it safe to start pruning again? Well, that's when the tree is kind of started to shut down for the year, is beginning to go into dormancy. When you prune them, you're not going to induce a really large response. Besides actually the tree may be healing the prune or cut that you made. So when can you start pruning again? Generally, this is what I just read and did some research, is when the trees start to turn color in the fall, you can start pruning. and then all the way up until about leaf drop. When they've dropped their leaves, you can prune up through there. So you have a window in the fall to do some pruning, and it's kind of advantageous to do it then too, as opposed to winter maybe, because the tree, even though it's going dormant, it is still growing, and I imagine kind of healing some of that pruning work in the fall and compartmentalizing some of the damage you've done to pruning. So that's the rule, and that is the reason behind the rule. So I hope you find this information useful. And again, if you break this rule and do a little bit of pruning, probably fine. You might not induce a big response to the tree. I found that personally is true. If you just kind of do some detailed pruning in August, September, that's probably fine. This is more like big pruning that might induce a big response from the tree. So that's it.